TT's Urban Pantry. I am doing this video in collaboration with the channel Bestyet Journey. Miss Lydia. I know probably all of you know her out there, but if you do not, please hop over to the channel Bestyet Journey and check it out. Number one, she's hilarious. She's just hilarious. But she's real. She keeps it all real. She cooks, she cans, she gardens, she does it all. But our collaboration is sweet and savory. So her video is going to be on canning a sweet dish, and I am going to can a savory dish. This is going to be a learning experience for you and for me because I have never canned this before. I am going to can chicken cacciatore. Did I say that right? Chicken cacciatore. So I'm just going to hop right in. I am using this book, The Complete Guide to Pressure Canning. Now this recipe calls for 8 boneless chicken breasts and 12 boneless skinless chicken thighs. I actually have a whole chicken here, so I am not doing the thighs and the breast and counting all that stuff. This is a whole chicken. I was going to use it for something else. So the other day I came home at my lunch and I put the chicken in a crock pot with about a half cup of water and had at it. I left. In about 6 hours, I had the beautiful fall off the bone chicken, which is exactly what I did. I just took the bone out. I did put the broth aside, so now I have chicken broth, but here's the chicken. It still has some skin and bones in it, so I will have to go through that, but I just want to let you know that I'm using a whole chicken, not what this says. So this says to start by cooking your chicken thighs. I already have all that taken care of. Then it says add oregano, basil, thyme, rosemary, salt, and pepper. Mix well and cook for about 3 minutes. Then add red wine. So what I'm going to do is just jump ahead to getting all this chicken in here. I'll add in my seasonings and then I'll bring you back when I'm about to put the wine in. I am back and I haven't even started with the chicken. I decided to change up the recipe a little bit. So this says start with your chicken, then your red wine, and then season. And then you're going to put your sweet onion, 1 red pepper, and a stalk of celery in. Well, I'm actually cheating today and I'm using this blend, which is red pepper, green pepper, onion, and celery. So I'm throwing a little bit of that beautiful chicken broth for making this chicken. What I'm going to do is, if you can see, I am going to take off this first layer of fat. There. And you just want to do it as best as possible. And if you can see, it's all coagulated in there. Baby, that is chicken goodness. Especially if you're canning. If you can get your chicken broth, chicken stock to coagulate like that and gel up, that means you have extracted all those nutrients from the bones and it's caused it to solidify a little bit. So that is good. I just turned my heat up. Once this starts to cook down and turn into a liquid again, I am going to add the peppers, onions, and celery. And then I'm going to continue just shredding up this chicken as I'm waiting for that, and it's not taking long at all. But the reason I removed the fat, the top layer of fat from that, which is great because I was also going to talk about canning do's and don'ts, is you can't safely can fats. So if you can eliminate the fat from the process, that's always better. Of course, you're not going to get 100% of the fat, but the least amount of fat you have is better. The reason I say you can't safely can fat is because there's been no proven method on how it can safely get rid of the botulism. Just do your best, and I also invite you to check out the National Center for Home Preserving. I will put the website in the description below. But that's always my go-to. If I'm ever, can I can this or can I not can that? I am on that website. I have it saved as a favorite on my phone. I have it saved as a favorite on my laptop and my computer at work. I use it to cross-reference. The thing that they say that you cannot safely can is pastas or rice, basically starches. Reason being is they can't prove that when you're pressure canning that the heat is safely going through the food in order to kill off all the botulinum. Not to say that it's not, it just hasn't been proven. So to be on the safe side, I don't do it. What I would do is I would make up my dish and can it without the pasta or the rice. And then when I go to make it, then I would add it then. I actually was going to can chicken gumbo. My mister, his family is from Louisiana. I was first introduced to gumbo through my mother-in-law. He makes like a big roaster pot probably once a year, and then we freeze it and everything. But as I was looking at the recipe for gumbo and talking to him, he says that when you start your recipe, you want to start it with a roux. What is roux? Roux is butter and roux is flour. Butter is a fat and a dairy. And also you can't safely can thickening agent. So flour, cornstarch, any of that for the same reason as the pasta and everything. And then in the gumbo, we always put the gumbo over rice. And I felt like to modify the gumbo enough for canning it almost wasn't worth it. It was more going to be like a seasoned broth with chicken in it. So that's why I decided not to do the gumbo recipe. I'm not giving up though. I think I will eventually do the gumbo recipe just so we have a starter when we go to make real gumbo. Instead of having to do the chicken and do everything else, we could just add that to the roux. Another tip. And yes, I did go and make me a drink. I have a sangria here. Cheers. But another tip. If you are pressure canning and you have a dial gauge, please make sure that once a year you are getting that recalibrated and just making sure that is reading correctly. If you have a local extension office, they can do it. I know my local extension office, I think they'll do it for like $3. And when you do take it, they want you to bring all of your canning supplies. So just don't take like the gauge, but take all of your canning supplies. I actually do not have a gauge pressure canner. I have a weighted pressure canner. So it's like those little silver weights that you just add on to it. You do not need to get that recalibrated. There's really nothing to it. It's just the weights. However, you do want to consider taking your pressure canner to your local extension office at least once a year just to make sure your seals are looking good and there's no hairline cracks in it or anything. They will look all of that over for you. You don't want to be in the middle of a canning project and then have your canner fail. I even know someone who keeps extra seals. That way, if she is in the middle of a canning project and that seal slips or breaks or she can't use it or whatever, she's got a backup ready to go. I keep saying that I'm going to do that, but I haven't yet. But I mean, you don't want to be in the middle of all this and then not able to finish something. So something to think about. So my peppers, onions, and celery are sauteing. And there's also parsley flakes in this. So now I'm going to add my chicken. And I've been chit-chatting and drinking and I haven't even finished shredding my chicken. I am going to add some more chicken broth just so it doesn't dry out down here while I'm heating up all the chicken. Here's some more chicken broth from the chicken I put in the crock pot. As you can see, it's got a really thick layer of fat. So I'm going to scrape that off. And this has gelled really good too. I almost like it better that way, just because I can get a spoonful then without just having to pour it. So I ended up not using all of the chicken. I decided to put a little bit back for my dogs so I can make them some food tonight. So what I will do is shred all that chicken up. I will make them some rice using that chicken broth. And then I will throw in some veggies or some cranberries in it. And they'll have a nice little Sunday dinner. But this chicken is all ready to go, so I am going to season it. And I am using oregano, basil, rosemary, and thyme. And salt and pepper. I am mixing in my 1 cup of red wine. Now I am adding in 2 cups of sliced white mushrooms. Stir those in. I also added in about a tablespoon of white sugar. And I'm going to add in some of this tomato paste. That's so much better. Oh my goodness. I put in a heaping amount of garlic powder, onion powder. I added some salt. And I put some Italian seasoning in it. I think that was it. Some red pepper flakes. I put in red pepper. I'm going to can all of this up. I have 9 pints total. 4 wide mouth pints and 5 regular mouth pints. Really no rhyme or reason to that, but those were just what were more accessible to me. So I got 7 jars. I have already debubbled and measured. I'm just going to go through one more time and debubble and measure. That's another tip. If you are new to canning, you want to make sure that you are always debubbling. The reason being is you may think you have enough contents that are filling up to the desired headspace, but because there's still air bubbles in there, once it's in the canning process, especially if you are pressure canning, those air bubbles can be released and it can make your actual headspace sink down, which can sometimes mess with your seals, if not make your seal sink completely in to where it's concaved and it's not good anymore. This is going to process for 75 minutes in the pressure canner because it's meat, the chicken. If you were canning quarts, it would be 1 hour and 30 minutes in the pressure canner. This video was done in collaboration with the channel Bestyet Journey. Please hop over to her channel and see what she is canning up. She is doing the sweet and this is the savory. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for watching TT's Urban Pantry. If you enjoyed this content or was able to learn anything from it, please hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when new videos are uploaded. And as always, have a wonderful and blessed day.